On behalf of Mayor Francis Suarez, myself, Commissioner King, Chair of the City of Miami Commission, Commissioner Russell, Commissioner Reyes, who is participating via Zoom, and our other esteemed colleagues, Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla and Commissioner Joe Carollo, we would like to present this certificate of merit to my friend, Reverend Father Denrick E. Roll. In recognition of his excellent service, the City of Miami issues this certificate of merit to Reverend Father Denrick E. Roll. He is the rector of the historic St. Agnes Episcopal Church in Overtown, Miami, Florida. He is a native of the Bahamas and attended school at Lewis Yard Primary and later attended Hawksbill All-Age School and Freeport Anglican High School, Grand Bahamas, Bahamas. His educational accomplishments include the following: a Bachelor of Arts degree in theology, being awarded the Colin and Pearl Curtin Award in Doctrine, Philosophy from Cordington College, the University of the West Indies, and a Master of Philosophy in Systematic Theology from the University of the West Indies. He's very qualified to serve St. Agnes. In 2016, he wrote Person in Relation to the Trinity. Father Roll is presently preparing for his pursuit for a PhD in philosophy and theology at the university in Europe. His interests include lecturing in a tertiary institution, which complements his love for knowledge and love for engaging others. We are confident that you will continue to excel and to serve in our community to advance the quality of life for the residents of Miami and Overtown. We appreciate you and thank you. It is his 11th anniversary for serving the St. Agnes Episcopal Church in Overtown, the historic St. Agnes Episcopal Church, Overtown. Congratulations, Father Roll. Would you like to say something? Should be.
Thank you, and I'm looking forward to continued service.
Thank you, Father Roll. You want to do this?
Sure, thanks very much. If Apostle Chambers is here, if you could join us, we would like to commemorate you. Why is he acting surprised? This isn't a birthday party. You're going to tell me you didn't see this coming. With all of your abilities and foresight, you had no idea this was about to happen. It's not your birthday today? No. All right. Come stand right in the middle, please. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath because I got a little bit to read here. This is a very, very nice proclamation. Whereas Apostle Dr. John Chambers III is founder and senior pastor of Believers of Authority Ministry, non-denominational church in Miami, Florida, he understands his primary role is to pray, preach, and teach. Acts 6:4. He serves as apostle and is gifted as prophet and teacher to feed knowledge and understanding to hurting people. Apostle Dr. Chambers was formally educated in the Miami-Dade Public School System, Miami-Dade Community College, and Florida A&M University. He received his doctorate degree in theology on November 12, 2016 from CELA International University. He was influenced most by his grandmother, Everlena Crawford, a God-fearing pillar in Wells Temple Church of God in Christ. She proclaimed at a very early age that her grandson would preach the gospel. In 95, Apostle Chambers was ordained as a pastor, starting Believers of Authority, and proceeded with devoting himself full-time to spreading the gospel and building BOA Ministries. After serving as chief prophet of End Times Ministries International Association, Riverside, California, Apostle Chambers was ordained to the office of apostle in 2006. In 2007, Apostle Chambers used his musical gift to serve as executive producer for a CD entitled Pure Worship. In 2003, Dr. Chambers successfully established the BOA Job Placement Service. Today, individuals continue to be provided with job placement assistance. His desire to inspire and motivate young people resulted in the birth of Back to the Hood, a motivational forum targeted to youth and teenagers to remind them that success begins with Romans 12:2, to be transformed by a renewing of your mind. In 2013, BOA purchased their church in Coconut Grove. In addition to serving as president of the Coconut Grove Ministerial Alliance, Apostle Dr. Chambers serves as an advisory board member for the University of Miami School of Law Center for Ethics and Public Service, and as a board of director for the Collective Empowerment Group of South Florida. He is a member of the board of directors for Fellowship Covenant Ministries and member of Right Connection Evangelistic Association. Apostle Dr. Chambers is the father of David Chambers and Jalen Burks, Philip Burks, a daughter, Erica Hickson, and 3 children, Christopher, Ashlyn, and Jeremy. Apostle Chambers is a man of God whose ultimate goal is to do the will of God and to follow the motto God gave him for Believers of Authority Ministries. Adversity, it really does matter. He is committed to lead by example, live by faith, operate in love, pray to get results, and walk in authority. Whereas Apostle Chambers has been and continues to be a pillar of the Coconut Grove community and continues to provide extraordinary leadership, he is an extraordinary exemplary general for the kingdom of God through his agape love and godly wisdom. Now, therefore, Francis Suarez, mayor of Miami, Florida, and this commission does hereby find fitting and appropriate for the elected leadership of the city of Miami to pause in our deliberation of governance in order to honor and commend Apostle Dr. Chambers for his invaluable contributions to our community and to extend to him our best wishes for the continued success of his noble endeavors by virtue of the present official document. I call upon all residents of the city of Miami and the Honorable City Commission to join me in commending Apostle John Chambers Day in the city of Miami. Any words?
Thank you. To God be the glory.
All right, I think we've
We
got.
have 2 more from, okay, it's
You want me to do this?
one for each one of these
No, I'll do them in a second.
in block?
Yes,
Okay, you can write it?
I have that one. After, yes. That's okay with everyone?
Yes.
Okay. You're speaking with a mask on, right? We are? Okay. No, it's okay. It works for me. Good morning. I think most of you have seen me before here. Eddie Leal from the mayor's office. We have a very special event today in addition to the ones that we've heard. We wanted to recognize the professionals that have helped the city of Miami and the COVID pandemic response. And before I mention the names, I wanted to say 2 things about the individuals that we want to recognize today. I think everybody has been directly impacted by COVID, one way or the other. either financially or a relative that has had some time in the hospital, or as trivial as not being able to find something that because of COVID restraints we've been unable to. But the group of individuals that we recognize today have been our guiding hand in helping, providing our fire department and our policymakers advice on this very important issue. So there are two things, and I want to give a shout out to our HR department that had a great presentation yesterday about effectiveness. And I think the group of individuals, with the assistance of our City of Miami fire department, embody that, which is synergy. And I think Dr. Mary yesterday described the 7 effective skills or habits of effective individuals, and it's synergy. The group of individuals that you recognize, when you add them up, 1 + 1 does not equal 2. It actually gives you more than that. And in order for us to have been so successful in our pandemic response, not only do we have a good strategy because of our policymakers, not only do we have, I think it's timely to mention God as a guiding hand, but also people. So with that, I want to mention the name of those individuals that were part of our response that some of you might know, others you might have never heard, but it's time for us to recognize them. So I'm going to mention the names, and I'm going to ask that, if we can stand up and give a good round of applause, because those are the people that have made our community safe. Thank you. Yep. Yes, please. I will start with Dr. Mary Trepka. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, but welcome. You can come up, please. And I will mention the agency, FIU, Florida International University. Thank you, doctor. Dr. Soren Borsak, she's here. Thank you. Yes, guys, thank you for joining us. Dr. Gabriel Odon. You can come up, please. Thank you. Dr. Lilian Abo, please. Thank you. Dr. Roy Williams, good morning. Dr. Yesenia Villalta. Thank you. And Dr. Emir Veledar from Baptist Health. And last but not least, Carlos Migoya. Do we have Kathleen? She's not on. That's right. Okay, Kathleen Pesada, please. I'm sorry, you weren't on the list. But thank you. Good morning. Thank you. And Carlos Migoya. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Pleasure. Well, thank you, sir. He's on the first one. Yeah, okay. Yes. If we can push just a little bit to the middle, please. Thank you. They are, but they can attend. Yeah. I'm not sure if anybody wants to say a few words or not.
Would any of you like to say a few words?
Carlos.
Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you. We were asked by Mayor Suarez and then later Mayor Gilbert from Miami Beach to really help out, and we've been at this now for almost 2 years, right at 20-some months. in assessing the national, international, state, and of course local situations as it relates to COVID. For those of you that may know, we're not anywhere near the end of this thing. Unfortunately, we are back at a surge again. But this group, some of which have never met each other, has gotten really, really close under the leadership of the fire department and Bob Evia specifically, who's been really leading the entire effort. And we're very proud, and this group deals with everything from infectious disease people to statisticians to all kinds of different groups. It's a very complex group. The Department of Health, of course, Dr. Villalta, who leads the Department of Health here for us here locally in Miami-Dade County, has been part of it. And nobody has complained about being on these calls ever. And we do it over and over again to really understand the best we can. And I think we hope that we've been able to help the city in assessing the situation and try to do the best we can. I know that one of the things we did, I remember early on, I think it was March of 2020, that we put the testing site over at Marlin Stadium. And it was part of this, one of the original conversations we had about doing this, and you guys did that. I know that Josie, Fire Chief Josie, really was very happy to do that, and the entire city was very supportive behind it. And at that point, no one knew who was going to fund any of these things, but we did it for the right reason. So on behalf of this group, and we really appreciate the city, we specifically appreciate the fire department and the leadership of the city for recognizing us, and more importantly, for recognizing the city and the challenges that we have with COVID. So thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
There's one more presentation from the House of Representatives.
Excellent.
Oh, we know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me go to the next one.
We got.
No, my pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you for your service.
I think the gentleman right there, you got a special one he's presenting?
Which one do you have?
This is a special surprise presentation from your staff. He's yeah.
Okay.
I'm surprised the chairwoman.
Yeah.
Good morning. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor for me to be here this morning. I've been into this hall many times before, but I came here today for a special purpose, to honor someone on behalf of another great person, Congresswoman Frederica S. Wilson. Today, I stand here humbly to give homage to those who came before us, but those who are in present doing a yeoman's task. For the role, I thank you so much for being here this morning, and Apostle, you as well. Man of God, I thank you as well. This morning I came here to let you know that Madam Chairwoman of the Commission, your staff, along with the Congressman, would like to honor you as a first. And that first is in line with many firsts in our community. As a Bahamian American, I know what it's like to come from abroad and travel to this country and to make an impact. And this morning, I stand here to read to you a part of a proclamation that was presented by the Congresswoman to Madam Speaker Pelosi on your behalf, ma'am. And in my hand is a presidential congressional record to which this proclamation will be entered as a permanent record in the Library of Congress of the United States. So I'll read to you the verbiage of it to let you know that indeed you are appreciated by your staff, the Congresswoman, and the people who elected for you to serve. Madam Speaker, from the 24th District of the great state of Florida, I rise today to recognize Commissioner Christine King as she takes the reins at Miami City Hall as the first woman to chair the city's commission. Whereas Christine King is a Guyanese American who immigrated to Miami at the age of 5. She is a product of Miami-Dade County Public Schools, having attended Alapata Elementary School, Westview Middle School, and Miami Central Senior High School. Commissioner King went on to receive degrees from Miami-Dade Community College, Barry University, and a Juris Doctorate from Nova Southeastern University. And whereas Chairwoman King has had a passion for service for many years, prior to becoming an attorney, she worked as Chief of Constituent Services for Miami-Dade County Commissioner, later as an executive with the Community Action Agency, CAA. Her career with the county spanned 18 years. She is now a practicing attorney and president and CEO of the Martin Luther King Economic Development Corporation, a nonprofit organization that advocates for the revitalization of the community. And whereas Chairwoman King was elected to the City of Miami Commission on November 2nd, 2021 to represent District 5, she joined as the first Guyanese American to serve and the first woman to serve in a decade. In addition to addressing climate change and sea level rise, her priorities include increasing affordable and workforce housing, reducing gun violence, increasing elderly and children services, and much, much more. And whereas, now therefore, be it resolved that I, Frederica S. Wilson, a member of the United States House of Representatives, representing the 24th Congressional District of Florida, congratulate Chairwoman Christine King as she serves the City of Miami and its residents, dated January 13th, 2022.
Thank you. What a surprise and what an honor. I have big shoes to fill with Congresswoman Frederica Wilson. She's an inspiration to women like myself, and I had no idea this was going to happen today, but I'm so honored, and what a way to start my first meeting as chair for the City of Miami Commission. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations again, all the best to you. Whatever you can do to assist in your service, please feel free to help on us.
We have a few more protocol items, a few more people that we would like to recognize today. Would Commissioner Plummer? He's not here? Oh,
This is recognizing Commissioner Plummer, who passed. So, Maria Cristina, if you would join us up here, please. So, we haven't had this is our first commission meeting since losing Commissioner Plummer. Please join us right here. Thanks for coming today. Thank you. As you all know, Miami is full of big personalities in politics, and there may be none bigger than J.L. Plummer, who was the longest serving commissioner in Miami's history before we had term limits. And we've decided to do something special to commemorate him in these halls where he spent many, many days and nights. And we are declaring J.L. Plummer Day here in Miami in perpetuity, but on his birthday, so every December 3rd. And I had a great experience with Commissioner Plummer when I was running for office, coming to his house, where I was told if you want to see him, you better go to Coral Bagels. And so I addressed him there, and that's where I met him playing Liar's Poker with his friends. And he eventually endorsed my campaign, and from afar, I considered him a mentor with good advice. And so for sure, the city of Miami will miss J.L. Plummer very much, but you will find his name as there are things around here that he has done and built and rights of way that are named after him, including in Bayfront Park. So J.L. Plummer has left his mark on the city of Miami, and so we wanted to commemorate that with Mayor Suarez's paying tribute, celebrating the many accomplishments and community contributions of Commissioner Plummer by the present official document proclaiming December 3rd as Commissioner Plummer Day in the city of Miami. Would you like to say anything?
On behalf of Commissioner Plummer's daughters, Dawn Marie and Joni, and myself, I want to thank Commissioner Russell, the Mayor Francis Suarez, and the City Commission for this honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. I don't know what else we have. Not me.
It's the mayor still.
Yes. If I can.
You want to do it?
Yes. Okay. Good morning. If I can have Fire Chief C and his executive staff and anybody else from the fire department come up, and Steve Martell from, make sure I get the organization correct, North America Vehicle Rescue Association. Thank you. Guys, if you can give a round of applause. I know it's early. I think everybody here and everybody that is listening has had the opportunity to experience the great service that our fire department, led by his executive staff and Fire C, has done and continues to do. So we wanted to honor him today for not only his involvement in the fire department, but I'm also going to let Mr. Martell take an opportunity to recognize Fire C and the fire department. In recognition, and I'm going to read the certificate of merit that we're issuing today. In recognition of his excellent service, the City of Miami issues this certificate of merit to Chief Joseph C. and the City of Miami Fire Department. The Chief was bold enough to support the North America Vehicle Rescue Association with the Rescue Challenge here in the City of Miami, and had his team host the event despite dealing with a Surfside collapse, the recent hurricane season, the COVID-19 concerns, and all the tasks and demands of a modern-day fire rescue department. The event turned out to be a success, and the education and training of the personnel who attended was second to none. Also, the attending public acknowledged a new-grown respect for the work and dedication of firefighters, and hopefully better understand the commitment to public safety that we all bear. We're confident that you will continue to excel and serve in our community to advance the quality of life. Thank you. This is for Steve Martell, which is here. If you can, I guess, push a little bit over here, please. Or maybe if you want to have a portion over there and a portion over here. I also want to take an opportunity to recognize Steve Martell in recognition of his excellent service. The City of Miami issued a certificate of merit to the North American Vehicle Rescue Association, including its president and CEO, Steve Martell. The organization is a non-for-profit educational organization that focuses its training on first responders and firefighters to better organize street and rescue victims from roadway accidents and medical emergencies. A part of the training is also to stage challenging scenarios to get the first responders to learn better and safer ways to rescue roadway victims who are involved in serious accidents. We're confident that you will continue to excel and to serve in our community to advance our quality of life. Thank you. And I always wanted to have an opportunity to address the fire departments. I'm going to take a liberty here and say just a few words that I think everybody feels when you guys show up and you're there. and you bring calmness, you bring integrity, and in my involvement through my family members, or when we've had issues here in City Hall or upstairs, you're always timely, you're always punctual. It shows that your leadership trickles down to everybody. So from the bottom of my heart, because you're always desperate when you call the fire department, and I think some of them are not even here that I know, others I know very well for a long time, they know me for a long time. Gracias. Thank you. It really means a lot that you're there. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Hi, my name is Stefan Martel. I'm the CEO and president of the North American Vehicle Rescue Association. We actually focus our training on vehicle accidents. Every year there's always a more increasing vehicle accidents, and with modern technology, cars are more challenging than ever. We made a proposal to Chief Z a few months ago about doing an event in the city of Miami to actually look at the safety of road users in the city of Miami. Chief Z rose to the challenge and said, yes, he'll do the event for us. Right after that, we had the COVID thing going crazy, never stopped. We had the building collapse in Surfside. We had multiple challenges, hurricanes, etc. And Chief Z stayed committed to us and pushed through all his barriers to maintain we had a very good event. The event was very successful for us, the first of hopefully many. And we thought it would be nice to actually commemorate Chief Z in front of his peers and say we are so appreciative. And also, the city should know what they have in the City of Miami Fire Department. They have people who are dedicated to the life safety of the citizens and residents of City of Miami. And we as NAVRA just want to say thank you to the City of Miami, more important, and the firefighters of City of Miami, and more important to Chief Z for commitment and sticking with us and maintaining that his priority is the safety of City of Miami residents for safety and health. And so in that case, I'd like to make a presentation. Okay, from NAVRA. This says, the North American Vehicle Rescue Association presents Fire Chief Joseph Z. in deepest gratitude for your steadfast commitment to the furtherance of education in the field of vehicle extrication and emergency training, and to your devotion to health and safety, not only of your firefighters, but of the residents and businesses of the City of Miami. Chief Z, we present this to you. I have a second presentation to make. It's going to be the Chief Z, and this is the right-hand person, unfortunately, home, afflicted by COVID. So Iggy, we present the second presentation. This is going to be to Chief Scott Dean, who is actually a very integral part of what we did, and for his team. Tassie? This is to Assistant Chief Scott Dean and his team, in deepest gratitude for all the hard work in overcoming the many obstacles faced in order to host the NAVRA Invitational Rescue Challenge and Expo Miami. Without your commitment and belief, it would not have happened. Trust me.
Thank you, Martel. I'd like to thank NAVRA as well as the City Commission, the Mayor's Office for giving us this honor. I am deeply humbled and appreciative for the recognition, but for any of you leading any type of organization, you know that the recognition is not deserved at this level. It is deserved by the people who put in the work every single day. So first, I want to recognize NAVRA. NAVRA has dedicated itself to creating competition, to fostering education for one reason and one reason alone. It's not because firefighters love to compete against each other, which they do. It's really because they recognize that competition makes us better. And when we can shave minutes and we can shave seconds off of the work that we do to extricate somebody who may be in critical condition out of a vehicle after a horrific accident, we're not the beneficiaries of that. We're not winning whether we're in competition or not. You are all winning. You're winning because we're getting better at what we do. That is what they stand for. That is what they drive us towards. And again, we are completely grateful and completely humbled. But this is just one step in all of the people up here that you see working to provide a better service to our citizens every single day. And earlier, you may have heard Carlos Magoya, who I appreciate immensely because he's been such a leader in our community, recognize me as well for all of the work that our fire department did during COVID. It's not me. It is the people that you see up here before you, and it is their tireless work and dedication that makes the fire department what it is and allows us to provide the service to the community that we do. So please, not a round of applause for me, but a round of applause for all of them.
Can we get a picture? Oh, look ahead so we can take a picture. Thank you guys for all of your service. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
Patty, thank you so much.
I think that's it. Okay, good.
Congratulations, done by 9.
Come on, let's go.
It's a record.
Chair, Commissioner, it's my understanding. Turn this microphone off just to make sure.
Mr. City Manager. Mr.
Yes,
City
sir.
Ma-
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling?
I feel absolutely fine.
Oh.
How are you feeling?
Well, I still have some coughing, a little coughing, and that's it. And
Yeah,
kind of stuffy.
Yeah,
kind
you
of,
sound like you're a little congested, yeah.
Yeah, there's some congestion.
You taking anything for it?
Quick announcement.
No.
Quick announcement. We're going to have to recess our meeting until we have another commissioner join us on the dais. I won't have a quorum until then. I anticipate that we will have a commissioner here by 10 o'clock. So we will be back as soon as I can establish quorum. Apologies.
Thank you.
for the inconvenience.
And I'm sorry I could not be there, Madam Chair. But I and also want to congratulate you for the, I mean, what you did. It was very kind of Congresswoman to send you this. You deserve it. It's well, very well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank-
We will be back at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Morning.
Welcome to the January 13th meeting of the City of Miami Commission in these historic chambers. Procedures for the public comment will be explained by the city attorney shortly. Procedures for the swearing in of parties for the planning and zoning and/or quasi-judicial items will be explained by the city clerk. The members of the City Commission appearing for this meeting are Commissioner Alex Diaz de la Portilla, Commissioner Manolo Reyes via Zoom, and Commissioner Ken Russell, and myself, Christine King, Chair. Also appearing are the City Manager via Zoom, Art Noriega, City Attorney, Barnaby Min, and City Clerk, Todd Hannon. The meeting will be opened with a prayer from Father Roll of St. Agnes Episcopal Church. I'm not sure what. Here he comes.
Let us pray. O God, we cannot please you without you. Mercifully grant that your Holy Spirit in this and all things direct and rule our hearts. Amen.
The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Russell.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. City Attorney, please state the procedures to be followed during this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Any person who is a lobbyist pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 6 of the City Code must register with the City Clerk and comply with the latest city requirements for lobbyists before appearing before the City Commission. A person may not lobby a city official, board member, or staff member until registering. A copy of the code section about lobbyists is available in the City Clerk's office or online at municode.com. Any person making a presentation, formal request, or petition to the City Commission concerning real property must make the disclosures required by the City Code in writing. A copy of this code section is available at the office of the City Clerk or online at municode.com. The City of Miami requires that anyone requesting action by the City Commission must disclose before the hearing any consideration provided or committed to anyone for agreement to support or withhold objection to the requested action pursuant to Section 2-8 of the City Code. Any documents offered to the City Commissioners that have not been provided 7 days before the meeting as part of the agenda materials will be entered into the record at the City Commission's discretion. If any Commissioner thinks the documents supplied to the Commission fewer than 7 days before merits a continuance, the item may be continued by the City Commission. Pursuant to Sections 2-33F and G of the City Code, the agenda and the material for each item on the agenda is available during business hours at the City Clerk's office and online 24 hours a day at miamigov.com. Any person may be heard by the City Commission through the Chair for not more than 2 minutes on any proposition before the City Commission unless modified by the Chair. Public comment will begin at approximately 10 a.m. and remain open until public comment is closed by the chairperson. Members of the public wishing to address the body may do so by submitting written comments via the online comment form. Please visit miamigov.com/meeting instructions for detailed instructions on how to provide public comment using the online public comment form. The comments submitted through the comment form have been and will be distributed to elected officials and the city's administration throughout the day so that the elected officials can consider the comments prior to taking any action. Additionally, the online comment form will remain open during the meeting to accept comments and distribute to the elected officials up until the time the chairperson closes the public comment period. Public comment may also be provided live at City Hall located at 3500 Pan American Drive, subject to any and all city rules as they may be amended. Due to the ongoing surge of COVID-19 cases throughout Miami-Dade County, including the City of Miami, persons who wish to provide public comment at City Hall today are subject to certain reasonable COVID-19 safety measures in order to prevent the spread of the virus and to protect city employees, visitors, and others present at today's meeting. Speakers and attendees who appear in person will be subject to screening for symptoms of COVID-19. Any persons exhibiting any symptoms of COVID-19 will not be permitted to enter City Hall. In addition, all city employees and visitors are required to wear a mask or facial covering to enter City Hall today. Masks must be worn while indoors at all times. Members of the public shall observe social distancing requirements. To ensure social distance during the meeting, there will be limited seating inside the commission chambers and reduced occupancy limits. In addition, members of the public are reminded to stay at least 6 feet away from individuals who do not live in the same household. The city has set up facilities for those who are unable to enter City Hall once a reduced occupancy limit has been reached to be able to attend the meeting and provide public comment. If the proposition should be continued or rescheduled, the opportunity to be heard may be at such later date before the City Commission takes action on such proposition. When addressing the City Commission, the member of the public must first state his or her name, his or her address, and what item will be spoken about. Any person with a disability requiring assistance, auxiliary aids, and services for this meeting may notify the City Clerk. The City has provided different public comment methods to indicate, among other things, the public support, opposition, or neutrality on the items and topics to be discussed in today's City Commission meeting, pursuant to Section 286.0114, subsection 4, subsection C of the Florida statutes. The public has been given the opportunity to provide public comment during the meeting within reasonable proximity and time before the meeting. Please note, Commissioners have generally been briefed by City staff and the City Attorney on items on the agenda today. Anyone wishing to appeal any decision made by the City Commission for any matter considered at this meeting may need a verbatim record of the item. A video of this meeting may be requested at the Office of Communications or viewed online at mymygov.com. Planning and zoning items shall proceed according to Section 7.1.4 of the Miami 21 Zoning Code as temporarily modified pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13903 and 13914. Pursuant to emergency ordinance numbers 13903 and 13914, parties for any planning and zoning items, including any applicants, appellant, appellee, city staff, and any person recognized by the decision-making body as a qualified intervener, as well as the applicant's representatives and any experts testifying on behalf of the applicant, appellant, or appellee, may either be physically present at City Hall to be sworn in by oath or affirmation by the City Clerk, or may appear virtually and make arrangements to be sworn in by oath or affirmation in person at their location by an individual qualified to perform such duty. Pursuant to emergency ordinance number 13903, members of the general public who are not parties to an action pending before the City Commission are not required to be sworn in by oath or affirmation. The members of the City Commission shall disclose any ex parte communications to remove the presumption of prejudice pursuant to Section 286.015 Florida statutes and Section 7.1.4.5 of the Miami 21 Code. Staff will briefly present each item to be heard. For applications requiring City Commission approval, the applicant will present its application and request to the City Commission. If the applicant agrees with the staff's recommendation, the City Commission may proceed to its deliberation and decision. The applicant may also waive the right to never enter hearing on the record. The order of the presentation shall be as set forth in the Miami 21 Code and in the City Code, provided the appellant shall present first. For appeals, the appellant will present its appeal to the City Commission, followed by the appellee. Staff will be allowed to make any recommendation they may have. Please silence all cell phones and other noise-making devices. Pursuant to Advisory Legal Opinion 2020-03 issued on March 19, 2020 by the Florida General, and consistent with prior Attorney General opinions, a member of the local government body who is physically unable to attend a meeting because of medical treatment or due to medical reasons can participate in voting meetings where a quorum of the other members are physically present. Due to the continued declared local state of emergency in Miami-Dade County related to COVID-19, and consistent with AGO 2020-03, City Commission finds that the members of the Miami City Commission may use communications media technology to participate in and vote on items during the meetings when a quorum of the City Commission is physically present and the presence of the City Commission is medically necessary. This meeting can be viewed live on Miami TV at mymygov.com, the city's Facebook page, the city's Twitter page, the city's YouTube channel, and Comcast Channel 77. The broadcast will have closed captioning. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Min. Next, we will hear from the City Clerk. Please state the swearing-in procedures to be followed during this meeting.
Thank you, Chair. The procedures for individuals who are providing testimony will be sworn in for planning and zoning items and any quasi-judicial items on today's City Commission agenda will be as follows. The members of City staff or any other individuals required to be sworn in who are currently present at City Hall will be sworn in by me, the City Clerk, immediately after I finish explaining these procedures. Those individuals who are appearing remotely may be sworn in now or at any time prior to the individual providing testimony for planning and zoning items and or quasi-judicial items. Pursuant to Emergency Ordinance Number 13903, those individuals appearing remotely may be sworn in at their location by an individual qualified to administer the oath. After you're sworn in, please be sure to complete, sign, and notarize the affidavit provided to you by the City Attorney's Office. Each individual who will provide testimony must be sworn in and execute an affidavit. Please email a scanned version of the signed affidavit to the City Clerk at thannon@mymygov.com prior to providing testimony on the planning and zoning item and our quasi-judicial item. The affidavit shall be included in the record for the relevant item for which you'll be providing testimony. Commissioners, are you comfortable with all the notice provisions set forth and these uniform rules and procedures we have established for this meeting?
Yes.
Chair, may I administer the oath for anyone wishing to speak on planning and zoning items? Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you'll be speaking on any of today's planning and zoning items, only the planning and zoning items, may I please have you stand and raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give at today's meeting is the truth and whole truth and nothing but the truth? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And now we're going to set the order of the day. Mr. Manager,
Good morning.
good morning. You're doing it, Ziri?
I don't know. Is he on
Well, he's on
Okay.
Zoom.
Okay, let him do it.
Mr. Manager, are there any items?
Dr. Hikwaba will be handling the plasma.
What'd you say?
Dr. Hikwaba will handle it.
He wants me to.
Zero will handle it.
Okay, okay.
Madam Chair, is that a goatee?
What?
Do you have a goatee, city manager?
I do not, Commissioner. I just haven't shaved in 4 or 5 days.
Okay. How are you feeling, by the way?
I feel perfectly fine.
Okay, good. 'Cause I know you had COVID, so wanted to know you feel fine?
I do. Thank you for asking.
Okay, sorry.
Good morning, Ms. Chairwoman, Commissioners, Madam City Attorney, Mr. City Clerk. At this time, the administration would like to defer and/or withdraw the following items. DI1, discussion on bulky trash collection cost study report, to be deferred to the second meeting in February 24th.
Yeah.
DI1, to be deferred to February 24th. PZ2 is a zoning text amendment, Article 2, to be deferred to the next meeting, January 27th. PZ2, to be deferred to January 27th. We do have a couple of time certain items. PH4 is going to be time certain at 11:30 a.m. PH4, time certain at 11:30 a.m. DI2, discussion item on the underlying project presentation, time certain at 4:30 p.m. or thereafter. DI2, time certain at 4:30 p.m. or thereafter.
Madam Chair, 4:30 or earlier, right? Because the commission meeting could end earlier.
Or earlier, or thereabout.
Okay, so it's not time certain.
No, it actually is time certain, and all parties are aware that our meeting may end sooner, and then it would just carry over to the next meeting. There was a conflict with Commissioner Regalado. She has a 3 o'clock committee meeting.
Oh,
So it
okay.
can't be before 4:30.
Oh, I understand.
So-
Okay,
But if this body is expeditious in our service and the meeting ends before.
That's your job.
Well, I am.
Madam Chair, you know that.
I am trying to facilitate that for us. Proceed, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Anything else, Siri?
I'm done.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, Madam Chair.
Oh, my
Hello.
gosh, he's.
It's not God, you know, it's not a ghost.
Okay, there you are. I'm looking all over the place.
Hello.
Go, please, how are you feeling today?
I'm much better, much better. I'm just waiting and I'm gonna go for a test. Maybe if we leave early and today, and if not tomorrow, and see if I can get my negative. I need 2 negatives to be able to go back. So yeah, but let me tell you, this has been very mild, just a little cough, and the simple congestion, just like when you are catching a cold. Those are the feelings that I have. But I have to take care of myself, you see. Particularly at my age, I'm saying this before the Días de la Portilla says, you see.
You look great. You look great, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Madam Chair, I want to pull CA 12. I want to deal with it. CA 12 and FR 3. I want to deal with them together, and I don't want to group them with the rest of the CA agenda if we are going to go that route. That's the only thing that I want.
Okay, well, we're going to.
Okay?
Okay, we're going to do things a little different now. in that, Mr. Manager, are you finished? Okay, so now we're going to go to the commissioners. And what I'd like to do moving forward is I'm going to take up items, the CA items, deal with all of those, then we'll move on to the next. So are there any CA items that, Commissioner Russell, would you like to pull any CA items?
I would not. I was going to mention pocket items, but I guess you'll address those later.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
And I wanted to be noted as a co-sponsor but on another item, but nothing for the CA, thank you.
Okay, how about you, Commissioner?
I'm good. We move all CA items, so I'll move that for you, Madam Chair.
Chair,
Okay.
Chair.
Wait, I know, 1 second, Todd.
With the exception, I'm sorry, with
Wait,
the
one
exception of
second. Oh.
CA 12, I think Commissioner
That's right.
Reyes wants to wait, right? You want to pull it?
But I want to deal with it separately.
Okay,
Oh, separately, yes, you
Okay.
got, yes, so.
So let me go back to our city clerk. There are no minutes to read into the,
Chair, it's my understanding that, at least when it comes to the order of the day, the administration has requested that DI-1 be deferred to February 24th, 2022. PZ-2 will be deferred to January 27th, 2022. Commissioner Carrillo did request that PH-4 be deferred to January 27th. I'm not sure if the body is going to entertain that deferral. But before we move on to the consent agenda or anything else with the agenda, if we could get a motion and a second for the order of the day items. And
Well,
if you,
wait a minute,
No.
we don't have any mayoral vetoes.
but we normally will take a vote on the order of the day, these items that are being deferred and continued and so forth by the administration or any commissioners before we start moving
So
on.
I'll move that, I will move that for the order of the day, but PH4, I was told it would be 11:30 time certain.
Understood. So right now, the motion for the order of the day is to defer DI-1 to 224 and to defer PZ-2 to 127.
I'll move that.
Do I have a
I second it.
Second.
I second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Commissioner Diaz de la Portilla and a second by Commissioner Reyes. All in favor?
Commissioner Russell.
No.
I said
Reyes beat me. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
said Reyes beat you to the punch, I heard
Right.
him, yeah,
Understood.
it happens.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote passes unanimously.
So then I will move the CA agenda, Madam Chair, the complete CA agenda with the exception of CA 12 that Commissioner Reyes wants to address separately. So I move the rest of the CA agenda.
Do I have a
I
second?
second.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Alex Diaz de la Portilla and a second from Commissioner Reyes. So CA1, CA2, CA3, CA4, CA5, CA6, CA7, CA8, CA9, CA10, CA11, CA13, CA14, and 15.
The public needs to comment.
Public comment.
Is there anyone here for public comment on any of these items? Seeing no one for public comment? May I have a vote?
Yea?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Items passes. Now let's take up CA12.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to make, and I would like to also later on, because there is a companion also, there's a companion legislation with it, and I think we should take FR3 first and then do, CA. Because one goes with the other one. If we don't pass FR3, we cannot pass CA2. So I move FR3, if I may, Madam City Attorney, Madam Chairman, Madam Chair. Hello?
I'm sorry, Commissioner Reyes, the city clerk was speaking to me. So
Oh,
you-
okay, that's fine.
You would
that's
like
fine.
to take up FR3 right now as well?
Yes, yes, ma'am. First FR3, and then
Yes.
I will address CA12.
Is everyone
FR3,
in agreement with
I
that?
move it. I'm moving it.
Is everyone in agreement with that?
FR3,
FR3.
which is what, the AIPP approval?
It's the approval of the art in public places. You see, without FR3, then we cannot have art. And at that particular part, we wouldn't be able, it's an amendment to the section so we can exempt certain commission-approved art from art in public places. It is proposed to install dedications and donations.
I'll move for the adoption of FR3. I'll move that.
Second,
Okay. Is there anyone here for public comment on FR3? Seeing no one here for comment on FR3, City Attorney, would you please read FR3 into the record?
Yes, Madam Chair, and it's an ordinance of the Miami City Commission amending Chapter 62, Article 16, Section 62-655 of the Code of the City of Miami, Florida is amended, titled Art in Public Places Board, more specifically by amending Section 62-655, subsection C, subsection 4, to specify that if the Art in Public Places Board's approval conditions, or denial of proposed installations, dedications, or donations of art based on the Public Art Program Guidelines and Public Art Master Plan is not applicable to proposed installations, dedications, or donations of art that have been approved by the Miami City Commission, containing a subrogation clause and providing for an effective date.
We can take a vote.
Yes, ma'am.
We can take a vote now?
Yes.
All in
Yes.
favor?
Aye.
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 Item passes.
I move
Yes, ma'am.
CA12.
Now, CA12, I want to make an amendment to it. I'm moving to reject the recommendation of the board and move forward with the recommendation of the ranking committee, which has Nilda Thomas as in first place.
I'll second that.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So there are a couple, Commissioner, there are a couple of items that we're going to put into the record that the agenda has some blanks based on the AIPP meeting that we had on January the 10th. So what I just gave to the clerk was the update of the results of the January 10th meeting, which is what the Commissioner is referring to now. And the results are, as the Commissioner mentioned, the AIPP board recommended Xavier Cortada with Nilda Comas as second, and that is reflected in the handout on page, in the handout, and it's also now in the resolution so that you have it updated, just for the record.
For the record, and what we're doing is rejecting that recommendation and move forward with a recommendation of the ranking committee.
So
Moved by I second.
Yes, I have moved it already.
I second it.
Aye.
Aye. And that's with the amendment.
With the amendment. The
As
amendment is
amended.
to reject the recommendation of the board and move forward with the recommendation of the ranking committee that has Nilda Thomas in first place.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to now move into the public comment period
But
of our
did we
meeting.
vote?
Yes,
We
it
vote
passed
for it.
4-0.
Yes, it passed unanimously.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, I'm okay.
Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on any items that are here before the commission in this agenda? Please step to the podium. Also, be respectful of social distancing, please. Public item period has now started. Please state your name for the record and the item that you wish to speak upon.
Thank you, Chairwoman King. Hello, Commissioners. Elvis Cruz, 631 Northeast 57th Street. I'm here on two items, PZ1 and FL1. Regarding PZ1, this item, which would allow affordable housing right up against T3 or single-family and duplex neighborhoods would be very harmful to those neighborhoods. The affordable housing allows density bonuses and diminishes parking requirements. We would have spillover parking into the neighborhoods. The Miami 21 Code currently does include protections for T3 neighborhoods, and those protections should stay in the code. The city should keep a 1,000-foot minimum separation of affordable housing projects from existing T3 neighborhoods. This would affect neighborhoods all across the city. We have single-family neighborhoods all across the city, and this would be harmful and detrimental to all of them. So I would ask that you amend this particular item to take out that portion of it that would allow the affordable housing right up against a T3 neighborhood. The other item, FL1, is a massive restructuring, rewriting of the tree ordinance. It eviscerates the tree ordinance. I was very surprised to see this. I'm hoping the chair will ask city staff the names of the specific individuals that wrote this. I'm very curious about that. At minimum, there should be several community public outreach meetings to discuss this before it comes up for a reading on the agenda. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Malik Roll. I'm currently a senior at Law Enforcement Officers Memorial High School. My address is 300 Northwest 2nd Avenue. And I'm here to talk about item DI2. I was born and raised in Miami, and my heart resides in the city. For the first time in my life, I experienced changes along with the rest of the city due to these unprecedented times. And in this time of crisis, I believe the biggest impact that any one person or organization can make is even more contagious disease than COVID-19, a disease of love. The love we have for family, for friends, and being able to rejoice with one another in a safe and cooperative environment. The underline has made a direct impact to the city through various opportunities for the youth, myself included. The underline has made its sole purpose to be able to give back to the community and to inspire the community to gather with one another for unique experiences and memories in a time of crisis. In my personal experience with the help of the underline, I have been able to inspire those around me and create new opportunities for myself this past year. I wouldn't have had it any other way because of all the amazing people I met and memories that were created. I love my city genuinely because of all the great things we have accomplished and will continue to accomplish. Without love, we have no community, we have no trust. All we have are opportunities that will be seized by the corrupt, the heartless, and those with selfish intentions. But with love in a direct community, we will be able to rebuild our connection with the community and reignite deep roots within the city of Miami. With the help of the underline, our love will be at its fullest. I want to thank Chairwoman King, Commissioners Russell, Carollo, Reyes, and Diaz de la Portilla for their continued support of vibrant green spaces and multimodal transportation provided by the underline, and to unfreeze construction funding for the project. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Myra Jolie. My address is 1221 Brickell Avenue, Suite 1210, Miami, Florida, 33131. And I'm coming to this body just to commend all of you for the response that you give to people, and the people who are reaching out to you, not to you because you're new, and to the other ones that are somewhere around here. And none of them respond. I hope these people are here wasting their time and somebody's gonna respond to them. I asked you, Ken Russell, to give me an appointment. I asked Alex Diaz de la Portilla to give me an appointment. I asked Joe Carollo to give me the appointment, and I asked Manolo Reyes too. Joe Carollo was the only one who had the courtesy of giving me a phone call. I'm been calling you guys because the abuse that you guys are doing to the people, and I'm representing the people. You are here giving money away, but you have the city attorney, Vicky Mendez, in conjunction with that clerk, according to Joe Carollo, attacking Myra Jolie because she was a candidate for mayor. And all of you are the ones, except you because you're new, all of you are the ones orchestrating that. But Joe told me that is a political vendetta orchestrated by Francis Suarez and Victoria Mendez. So I tell all of you, the same way you give the people the respect to come here and speak at the dais, I ask you, you give me an appointment or I come here to tell everybody that these people are charging me $3,000 because I have the audacity of defending myself from a political vendetta orchestrated by Francis Suarez, the attorney for the city, Victoria Mendez, and the front is over there, Colita.
Thank you.
Todd Hannons. So back off.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm speaking on item DI2 about the underline. My name is Hank Sanchez Resnick. I live at 3259 Gifford Lane, Miami. As a Miami resident and volunteer, I've been an advocate for bicycle and pedestrian safety at both the city and county levels since I moved to Miami in 2005. I'm a member of the Miami-Dade County Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee and president of Bike Coconut Grove. I'm here to ask for your continued support of the underline. When I first came to Miami, it was difficult to find a safe place to ride a bike. South Florida has rates of bicyclist and pedestrian injuries and fatalities among the highest in the nation. But an important change is underway. Improved bicycling infrastructure, an emphasis on pedestrian safety, and growing awareness of the need to prioritize biking and walking are making Miami a better and safer place for all residents and visitors, including motorists. The underline is a critical element in this paradigm shift. The city's financial commitments to the underline are central to its completion. Already with phase 1 of the underline, we are seeing its transformative power. Phase 1 from the Miami River to 13th Street has been a huge success. There are still several years of construction before the underline is completed. Although it's true that construction of phase 2 is disruptive, minor disruptions are worth the enormous benefits the underline offers Miami and all its citizens. Please give the underline your unqualified support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Commissioner, Madam Chairwoman, and Commissioner Russell. My name is Pat O'Connell, and I live at 1111 Brickell Bay Drive in Commissioner Russell's district. I'm here to speak on D 1.2 regarding the underline. I ride my bike every weekend, and so I know firsthand how dangerous Miami streets can be for bicyclists. I support the underline because it's a safe, green, linear park, a rarity in Miami, where I'll be able to ride my bicycle. I think we can take pride in the fact that the underline is replacing every tree that needs to be uprooted with 4 healthy trees, contributing substantially to the reforestation of Miami. I support city funding for the park. In my mind, it can't be built fast enough, and I hope that you take whatever steps you can to continue that funding. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairwoman King, Commissioner Russell. Yes, is that better? No, it's reaching. Julie Dick, I'm here on behalf of Dade Heritage Trust. I'm speaking in relation to the update of the tree ordinance, F1. We commend staff for trying to find ways to cover the cost of tree maintenance, but overall, I feel there's significant room for improvement in this tree ordinance, ways to address the state law. I think there's some attempt to address state preemption over dangerous trees and weakening the city ordinance here. I think there are much better examples of how that's been handled in other communities and ways that the city could more effectively handle this issue and still maintain some control and management over the tree canopy. I think there's significant room for other improvements, and I hope that this item will be delayed so that there's sufficient time to really develop some additional language and better protections within the tree ordinance itself before it comes for first hearing. And also, I believe there's widespread support for more significant tree canopy, and meetings with the public and more public input could help with that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Charlotte O'Connell. I'm a resident of Brickell. I live at 1111 Brickell Bay Drive also. I used the underline, I'm here to support, or in reference to D12, and I'm here to support the underline and request the opening of the funds that have been frozen. I use the underline to walk to work, to walk to shopping, and for safe passage on my bike. I bike a lot. And I wanted to point out that even though it's sad to lose big and established trees, the underline is working to reestablish more appropriate trees and walkways, and to keep the walkways safe for not only pedestrians and bikers, but also for people with strollers and children, anyone who might be limited and using a wheelchair. So roots from old trees are problematic for anybody that needs a mobility that's not a car. So I just ask that you reopen the funds for the underline so we can continue to work and make that more passable. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Sofia Cuenca. Address is 515 Southwest 12th Avenue, Suite 525, Miami, Florida 33130. Today I'm speaking in support of item DI2 on behalf of Healthy Little Havana. We are a place-based initiative focused on strengthening the Little Havana neighborhood through the social determinants of health, which includes public space. Local green spaces are critical assets for maintaining and supporting health and well-being in low-income communities, including reductions in psychological stress, fatigue, anxiety, depression, increased physical activity, and reduced obesity. And with only a 10-minute walk, a simple trolley stop, and a quick bike ride away from Little Havana, the underline improved Little Havana's connection to trails, public green space, transit, and job opportunities. The underline has been very intentional to ensure its Little Havana neighbors have access to the space and are involved in their related community engagement activities. With a lot of coordination, consideration, and collaboration from cross-sector partners, including Healthy Little Havana, the underline has done an incredible job to prioritize and develop a safe place to walk, bike, and play, and we want to thank the City of Miami Commission for their continued dedication to continue bolstering this work. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Maite Alvarez, 6200 Santa Maria Drive. I'm here on behalf of the University of Miami on item DI2 in support of the underline. The University of Miami supports the underline and the vision of an activated world-class linear park. The underline can transform the city and our region by providing 10 miles of safe, beautifully designed open space for residents and visitors, including many of our students, faculty, and staff that walk, bike, and run to work. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Chairwoman King, Commissioner Russell, and all of you for your support of the underline and, as always, your support of the University of Miami. Thank you.
Good morning. Grace Perdomo, Executive Director of Transit Alliance Miami, 169 Flagler Street, downtown. As Executive Director of Transit Alliance Miami, I lead a nonprofit organization that advocates for walkable streets, bikeable neighborhoods, and better public transit throughout the county. You know us well from the Better Bus Network Project, who is the largest grassroots-led redesign of our bus county-wide network. We are committed to leading the reimagining of the future of our city by expanding all opportunities that create accessible, connected, and equitable neighborhoods throughout our city. Connecting the underline from the Miami River to Dadeland South will no doubt transform our mobility network into a system that our community can depend on now and into the future. As our great city moves forward in a post-pandemic world, delivering more equitable mobility is essential and helps drive our economic recovery and growth, and shared trails like the underline provide a clear pathway to making permanent and lasting change. On behalf of Transit Alliance Miami, we support the underline as a multi-use, multimodal trail and thank the city for their continued service. We thank you for supporting vibrant green spaces and multimodal transportation provided by the underline, and ask that you please unfreeze construction funding to continue to build Phase 2 and Phase 3 moving forward. To do so puts your words and commitments to action as a project that delivers transformative and equitable benefits to our entire community. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners, Madam Chair, Commissioner. My name is Madam Renita Holmes, and I'd like to say the Executive Director and Founder of Wave of Women in Public Housing, Education, Finance, and Development, because that says a lot about the transition that I've made. But here, personally, I'm here because I am a person living with disability and a senior. I celebrated my 60th birthday on January 10th. For me, it was not so awesome because I lost my support animal of 3 years. So please pardon my sadness. But what aggravates me more than anything and hurts me more than anything is because when you read things are to happen a certain way and they don't, that resources are provided is very frustrating. So please forgive me my humanity. But a lot of the things I'm going through is devoid of human services because my question is if I qualify as a person with disability, if I qualify as a person with vouchers, if I qualify as a human being, then some of the things that I've been experiencing in the toxic building that I'm living in, which many others don't have a voice here today, I represent. I just want you to imagine being out there right now in the rain, and you can't find a place because you have an animal. And this animal provides every bit of family that you are. But yet there are rules that says these people are receiving funding and they have availability. I want you to imagine sitting out there in the rain, nearly homeless because your building is full of mold and mildew and you have to wear a mask inside. Now I want you to imagine me talking to you and then walking away and coming back next week because the situation continues. There's a gap in the use of federal funds and CDBG monies. You could take a look at the budget and the allocations made today. There are those of us who are existing, not just living, in these spaces for lack of human services and coordination of services. PH4 speaks to mental health. Well, housing here is a mental health issue. And while I might feel half crazy, I'm not stupid. I know what I'm experiencing. But if we truly believe that, then we will know this.
Thank you.
Is that
Madam Holmes, your 2 minutes is up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here on item DI2 to ask you to restore funding to the underline. I'm Roberta Niwe. I live at 1236 South Alhambra Circle, Coral Gables 33146. Retired from Miami-Dade College, Wolfson campus. The underline is important to Miami, and it's important to me for the following main reasons. First, climate. 1,000 additional trees in phase 2 alone, and a safe, comfortable route that encourages people to walk or bike instead of get in their cars will help mitigate climate change, and we all want that. Then there's community. Phase 1, with over 2 million visitors already, is promoting a sense of place. And this will expand exponentially with phases 2 and 3. When we walk or bike, we connect with people outside our immediate bubbles. We become more thoughtful and more accepting. We realize we're all in this together. We're all Miamians. We feel a stronger sense of belonging and pride of place. In short, we become better people in a better city. Please fully support the underline. And thank you for your time. Have a good day.
Morning. Adrian Madriz, 1990 Northwest 4th Court, Miami, Florida 33136. I'm here speaking on item PH4. And there are two things that I'd like to bring up. First, underlining everything that Madam Renita Holmes just spoke about, especially regarding the allocation of certain funds that go to existing programs, but don't necessarily take into account the need that still exists outside of those programs. Those are obviously different priorities that should be covered as well by the funding that's being made available by the ARPA funds. And also that these funds, along with any other government funds like CDBG, also be subject to a transparent and democratic process in terms of their allocation. There's been a lot of questions about how the ARPA funds have been allocated and why, for example, this particular resolution is waiving the requirements for the procedures of that allocation. But that's something that we would like to see going forward, absolutely. And then finally, one last thing I want to advocate for is to make sure that the job training programs at Lotus House are preserved. That's extremely important to the community. Lotus House is an institution that is absolutely a miracle that we have it and a blessing to continue to have. And anything that we can do as the city to support it, I'm fully in favor of. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, Chairwoman King, Commissioner Russell. My name is Elizabeth Berglund. I'm the Director of Public Policy at United Way Miami. We are located at 3250 Southwest 3rd Avenue, 33129. United Way Miami is a unique stakeholder in this conversation, speaking to DI2. Located just 2 blocks north of the Vizcaya station, our staff and clients have direct access to our campus via public transit on bus and rail. The families served by our programs on site are more likely to below the ALICE threshold, meaning even though they're working, they struggle to get by paycheck to paycheck. They're veterans, their families experiencing financial stability concerns, and their parents with young children. They're less likely to own a car and to use public transit. We're at a period in our history that calls for active efforts to bridge gaps and bring people together. What better way to do that than through development of beautiful, accessible, vibrant shared spaces that invite people to come together in a way that celebrates who we are as a community. The Underline Phase 1 provides not only a beautiful place to convene for events, but it invites a feeling of safety and security in places that weren't beforehand. If you've ever biked or walked between Brickell and Vizcaya stations, it's not exactly welcoming. Improved lighting, information kiosks, and gathering spaces planned for Phase 2 only enhances the long-term benefits of the resource and support for the entire community's investment. Every one of us stands to benefit by improved public spaces, access to healthy family activities, and revitalization of the landscaping with native plants and trees. Phase 2 extends the Underline from the bustling Brickell downtown to the neighborhood past the roads, and we hope that you continue to recognize the benefit of the Underline to all families in Miami. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm speaking to DI2. My name is Roger Torone. I reside at 14005 Southwest 72nd Court in Palmetto Bay. However, as a former 8-year resident of Coconut Grove, and for most of my 42-year career as a CPA in public accounting, working from offices located downtown, off Brickell, or on South Bayshore Drive in the Grove, I have enduring affection for and appreciation of the Magic City. I'm the volunteer treasurer of Friends of the Underline and the Underline Management Organization. The past 7+ years, I've used my time, energy, and intellect to further the mission of these organizations. I applaud our fellow Miamians who inquire with questions, concerns, or recommendations about any aspect of the Underline. As a reminder to all our community, the Underline welcomes volunteers willing to add their voices and energy to the cause. And I want to extend my personal invitation to join us. I appreciate the fact that city commissioners and administration have engaged in dialogue with Underline representatives and other interested parties over the past few weeks about the flora, plantings, and replacements necessary to complete and open Phase 2 of the park. I believe that working together, we have addressed your questions, resolved issues, and therefore I urge you to make a decision that sends a direct, strong message to our community by unanimously voting to restore the suspended funding and reiterating your unwavering commitment and support for the Underline at today's commission meeting. Thank you for listening to my comments today.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Michelle Espinoza, and I reside at 1877 Southwest 11th Street, 33135, and I am also an employee of United Way Miami. And I am speaking to D12. According to the American Community Survey, last updated March of 2021, the zip codes closest to the Underline Phase 2 construction report higher levels of car ownership, while our more densely populated zip codes, just a couple miles west, report 26 to 31% of residents do not own a vehicle. That's nearly 3 times the entire county's average of 10% of residents not owning a vehicle. Vehicle ownership is directly related to the ability of travel. This limits carless families' access to essential local services such as supermarkets, post offices, doctor's offices, parks, schools, and hospitals. As a Miami resident who bikes and uses public transit daily, I am incredibly grateful to the work of the Underline. The Underline's mission to create a safer space to walk, bike, explore will not only improve accessibility to essential resources for our working families, but also increase the overall utilization of public transit, reducing carbon emissions and improving the health of our overall community. Thank you so much for listening to me today.
Good morning, Chairwoman King. I'm very pleased to be here today, and I'm here. First of all, my name is Elaine Black from the Liberty City Trust, 4800 Northwest 12th Avenue, Miami. I'm here today in support of PH7, which will provide the youth employment program for youth within the District 5 for the summer of 2022. It's a program that provides jobs as well as training, and we really appreciate your support. In addition, we also support PH8, which will allow us to have a facility in the Liberty City community for events, and we also support PH5, which will allow us to have a program that is very dear to my heart as the automobile program that allows people to get jobs, that allows people to get cars that have jobs that they cannot get to. So that's important, as well as we support PH6, which will allow us to have programs in the Moore Park area, which is adjacent to the Liberty City area. So thank you so very much for your support of activities within the greater Liberty City community. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your service and thank you for affording me the opportunity to be in front of you here today. My name is Ray Della Cabada. My home address is 34 Southwest 28 Road. Good to see you. See you, Attorney Mendez. Commissioner Russell was instrumental in our neighborhood in getting some much needed work done, and thank you for your service. I'm here to speak on the Underline. I'll give you my perspective. I won't reiterate what's been said earlier. Those were all excellent comments. I grew up in this house. I've rebuilt it. It's my parents' house, and now I'm raising my family there. My office is in Brickell. I lived in Brickell Key. So I have a unique perspective as to this area and what the Underline is doing in re-engaging what was basically wasted space, underutilized space, unsafe space, is nothing short of amazing. Please continue to support this project. I mean, as it is now, my wife and I don't feel safe walking in the roads. It's not a well-lit area. It's a place for vagrants. What this does is it gives us a sense of community. It re-energizes a dilapidated area. And all of the other comments that I wholeheartedly agree on, the safety in the roads right now with this particular project will rise to the top. So thank you so much for your time, and please continue to support the Underline.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Ms. King, and good morning, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Russell. I'm here in the strong support of PH7 also. I cannot stress the importance of the summer jobs for our youth. Having raised 4 children myself and having 8 grandchildren, 4 of my grandchildren have successfully, through these programs of having a job, have grown up to continue to work. I have seen the people, the young youth in the neighborhood through this program go to work and be able to support themselves when the school year comes in. So this program is very important. I thank y'all for having it and hope and pray that y'all keep supporting it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, if I could just get the speaker's name, my apologies. Ma'am, if I could get your name for the record.
I am so sorry, excuse me. My name is Cynthia Primus. I'm the treasurer of Charles Hadley Association.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the commission. My name is Matt Anderson. I reside at 90 Edgewater Drive, and I'm here to speak on DI2. I am the executive director at MCCJ, and at MCCJ, we are hyper-focused on embracing diversity and building an inclusive Miami. And we do this via our strategic partnerships. And one of those strategic partnerships that we really embrace and that is innovative and inclusive is the Underline. I first met Meg Daly on February 10th, 2015, and at the time I was the chair of the New Leaders Task Force, and the Underline was a brand new concept. Meg and her team at the Underline were really intentional about making sure that Miami's next generation of leaders had her buy-in and were felt to be included in the process. And it didn't stop there. Meg and her team have made sure that the whole community at large has been a part of the process. We all know that Miami is a tale of two cities. And right now, Miami is on the world's radar and is seen as a place where people are really thriving. But at the opposite side of the coin, we have so many people that are one flat tire away from a financial disaster and lack opportunities. Like her father, Parker Thompson, whom we can thank for the Arch Center, Meg and her team are on path to completing a transformational project. There's no question that the Underline is going to be a destination that tourists visit as soon as they get off the plane. But more importantly, it is a meeting place for Miami's day-to-day citizens to collaborate and collide.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Vivian Perkins. I live at 1150 Northwest 49th Street. To the chairwoman and to Commissioner Russell, thanks so much for keeping us safe as you have. Most of all, I want to say PH5, I'm in favor of PH5, 6, 7, 8, everything to do with the community that will uplift people. Most of all, PH5 also helps people get to work. That's one thing that's needed in this society today. So this is very vital to us. 6, 7 is for our youth. And our youth is much needed to work. I remember working when I was a kid in my very first job at Sears and Roebuck. And the excitement now to see that Sears is hanging in there. But most of all, our children, we need to employ more of them. So this program is very needed. Now, the Kitchen Hall program for the incubator, we really need to feed the hungry. I mean, the hungry people are everywhere. Children, babies, people. We need to get this done. And most of all, I want to thank and welcome our iconic Christine King. Thank you.
Chair King, thank you very much. My name is Kurt Kaminer. I reside at 4370 Southwest 13th Terrace, and I'm here to speak on DI2. I've lived in Miami here for nearly 34 years. My parents took me to ride on the I-Path when I was little, and I still use it as a commuter tool today. And it really wasn't until Meg Daly came forth that anyone really thought to take this historically under-recognized path and improve it, and to such an unbelievable scale. Really, truly unbelievable scale. And it's very rare that this actually comes forth, from a single resident, really, and becomes something like this in the ground, really. However, I believe the matter of tree removal, or rather the fear of tree removal, has brought us all here today to plead its case because of the city's temporarily freezing of the funds. And I really do believe the Underline has done more than their due diligence, going all the way back to 2015. To take in public input and everything and really make this as transparent as possible. And I went out to see the construction myself too. And if anything, I saw much greater care being executed to protect existing trees with orange mesh fencing than I saw of any trees removed. And importantly, anybody who's been part of these prior planning meetings and has seen a Miami-Dade fact sheet will know that, as many others have pointed out here, there's over 1,000 trees being added in this project. And if anything, I'd be very disappointed to see this unwarranted fear of tree removal cause further roadblocks to this project. And I sincerely hope that the City Commission will consider removing the block on the funding. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Madam Chairwoman Christine King, welcome. Happy New Year.
Professor Lattimore. How are you?
Happy New Year and a blessed New Year to you, Mr. Russell, and Ms. Mendez, Mr. Zeri, and all of the staff. We want to welcome you and to this great New Year. I'm here as a proponent for, first of all, I live at 937 Northwest 55 Street, Miami, Florida. My family has been living there since 1959, and so you consider that we're a long-time resident. I'm also the president of the Charles Hadley Neighborhood Association, circa 1972, one of the oldest homeowners association in the city of Miami. I'm here as a proponent for PH7, which deals with the employment program offered by the Liberty City Trust. I've been watching that and dealing with that program for a number of years, and they have successfully placed young men and women in jobs they would never have been able to get. Number two, I want to recommend and approve, and actually approve the kitchen incubator and the community dining room. That would be a necessary and a highlighted area for us. And lastly, I want to recognize and suggest that you vote for, and I have it here, the other one that has to do with the Wills to Work program. I sincerely thank you for the opportunity and look forward to you approving those. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Professor Lattimore.
Thank you, Commissioners. I really thank you today for receiving me. My name is Chaplain Stanley Young. I'm a chaplain here in Miami-Dade County. I live at 2020 First Avenue. A lot of you know my testimony when I first came to this county. I was very excited, but I came to a shocking conclusion that I didn't have the funds that it takes to actually own and possess a home of my own. And there's a very bad need here in the county, in the city, to develop housing. You know, Miami is not like Los Angeles or New York where they ran out of land, they ain't got no land to develop. But Florida still has a lot of undeveloped land to develop land for housing for people in this city and in this county. I don't know why they are not developing this land. I am for the PH1 and the PH2. It's sort of a broad kind of a proposal for housing and community development. There's a lot in that. We need housing here in Miami-Dade County. I'm gonna continue coming down here when you're having discussions concerning housing in Miami and in the county. It is ironic today that the county is also talking about this very issue, about homelessness and housing in the county and the city. We need housing, sir, ma'am. We really need someone to champion and get behind developing housing. We need housing partners. We need housing for the citizen of this great city. I wish that you would continue to look into this matter, that you would continue to do what you need to do. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Commissioners. Also, the other people that's working with the Commission. My name is Kerry Johnson. I live at 29 Northwest 52nd Street, Miami, Florida. I'm here on PH7 for the employment of the summer youth, and we need that necessary in the neighborhoods to keep crime down, keep the youth doing something, educate them more in what they need to be doing for future life and this would help out in curbing some of the crime and everything else in the neighborhood. I'm also here for PH 8, which is the kitchen and commodore for the community in the dining hall to produce something where people can work and people can feed other people that's necessary to have a place to go when they want to have, you know, out or get together or be together in something, okay? And this is something that's, you know, for the future. Also, I'm for PH 5, which is Wheels to Work program, which helps out people getting to work and people that's older, that's aged, or can't get out on their own or don't drive, and they still need to get around the city and still need to get around to do things that's necessary for them to be able to, you know, whether it's shopping or whether it's going out to different community activities or whatever it may be. But I support all three of those PH items. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Martha Akins, and I reside at 6042 Southwest 159th Court. I am the Senior Director of Facilities at Vizcaya Museum and Gardens, and I oversee the capital projects at Vizcaya, including the revitalization of the village, which will be positively impacted by the underline. Therefore, I am here to provide Vizcaya's full support of the underline. Vizcaya is in the process of renovating the 11 historic buildings of the Vizcaya Village, located directly across US 1 from the Vizcaya Metro Rail Station, with the goal of opening the village to the public and creating a needed community hub. On 32nd Road, which is the north side of the village, there will be a new pedestrian and cyclist access, and this will directly connect to the Metro Rail and the Underline, thanks to the existing pedestrian ramp. We have been working on this project and the Vizcaya Plaza in close collaboration with the Underline team, as we have the shared goal of improving the neighborhood for residents and visitors. The Underline will create an incredible public park with a diversity of native plants and a new space for community gatherings. It will enhance the vitality, sustainability, and safety of our community. It will provide information about Vizcaya and opportunities for passersby to learn about Miami and encourage them to engage in its rich cultural offerings. This project is a shining example and great advertisement for the city of Miami, living here, working here, and relaxing here. I would like to thank you, Chairwoman King, and commissioners for your continued support of vibrant green spaces and multimodal transportation provided by the Underline. I'd also like to thank you for your consideration in freezing the construction funding for this very important project.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Mike March. I live in the West Grove at 3586 Charles Avenue. I'm here to speak against item PZ1. I've also submitted a letter to go into the record to that effect. This legislation gives developers FLR and density bonuses in projects which contain mixed-income housing, paving the way for such projects to be built directly next to T3 or single-family neighborhoods such as mine. In order for such a project to do this, it would have to be granted a special exemption from the commission, which prompts the question, in which neighborhoods would the commission be willing to grant such exceptions? Would such a project go into the historically white South or North Groves? No, because those neighborhoods are full of activists who hold their low-density, single-family neighborhoods sacred. In those neighborhoods, they fight valiantly to protect their property rights, as well as their property values. Would such a project go into the historically black West Grove? Yes, I could easily see a project being approved for an exception there. In the West Grove, we have activists who don't necessarily live in the neighborhood, but they claim to speak for everyone, and they ask to be paid off with a ransom of sorts in the form of a CBA or a community benefits agreement. Our neighbors in the North and South Grove don't seem to mind if we get upzoned here in the West Grove. They seem to care more about whether our new buildings will have Bahamian architecture. I think they prefer that any added density goes into our neighborhood rather than into theirs. Since I value the character of my single-family zone neighborhood, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to please vote against item PZ1.
Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners and Chairwoman King. I'm Julia Pullis. My office address is 4000 Ponce de Leon, Suite 700. I'm here with regard to the underline D12. Thank you for carefully listening to us, as well as the experts that are going to speak to you later. More than 60 years ago, my parents, my husband, and my husband's parents immigrated from Cuba. Over 50 years ago, my in-laws purchased the home my husband grew up in Silver Bluff. My mother-in-law has recently passed, and we have decided to keep that home and eventually age in place here. The underline will provide us with a safe corridor with the added lighting and the infusion of native landscaping, together with safe cycling and walking areas, will allow our family, residents, and visitors alike to safely access local businesses and a host of additional economic, environmental, and physical benefits. We are grateful for the immediate impact that the underline has already had on our beautiful city, not to mention the additional national recognition and respect it is garnering. So if it's a child and a family on bicycles, or a senior that's power walking, or someone that is in a wheelchair, this respected endeavor will enhance the quality of life and safety of all residents and visitors. Given that 50%, that is 5 out of the 10-mile stretch, is in your hands, we respectfully request that you protect, nurture, and move this forward to its fullest extent. Thank you for listening and taking to heart the full impact of this project by unfreezing the construction funding.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Pamela Weller. I reside at 1 Grove Isle in Miami. I'm here representing Bayside Marketplace, who's celebrating their 35th year this year in April. I'm representing 189 tenants that do business at Bayside Marketplace, and I'm here on SR2. I'm not sure if anyone saw the news, but on December 25th, we had over 250 people, most of them on scooters, disrupt the entire property. And I was amazed because on 11/29, this commission passed a 3-1 resolution that you were reinstating the pilot program and you recommended safety measures. But those measures never took place. No one polices those measurements. And because it wasn't implemented, our business owners lost a lot of money. 40 police officers were called to the scene at the cost of $5,184 for the police officers, and I don't even have a number of how much we lost at Bayside Marketplace and our tenants because we had to practically close down. All we're asking, and we don't have a problem with scooters, we're asking that you maintain the program that you came here with and you said that you would have safety. We're asking for your geofence. We're asking for safety and risk management issues to be addressed, and I don't think that's too much. You said that you made $2 million last year in the scooter program. Why can't you spend some of that in policing this program? That's all we're asking. I really think that you need to do your due diligence, and I think the operators that don't follow your plans, which came out 11/29, you need to do something about it. It's not right to the business owners. 35 years, guys, 35 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Constance Collins, Executive Director of the Lotus House Women's Shelter. I'm here to speak in support of PH4, sponsored by Mayor Suarez and Commissioner Reyes, providing life-changing funding for the vocational and educational programs that we have at Lotus House. I want to say that we're celebrating 15 years of service this year. Over 8,000 women and children sheltered by Lotus House. Of that number, 4,000 children. This past 2 years has been exceedingly difficult for our shelter. We have seen a 37% increase in reported domestic violence. We know that violence is the lead cause of homelessness for women and children. This past year, we sheltered 1,548 women and children. And of that,
756 were our little ones. 490 between the age of 0 and 5. We urge you to provide this important funding support for the shelter so that our moms, so that the women that we serve who are in need can get to work and have the kind of quality of life we all hope to enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Lola Capers, and I'm with Community Awareness Construction Services. I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity, Chairwoman Christina King, Commissioner Kenneth Russell. I'm here to support 2 of the items that's on the agenda. PZ1 for the redevelopment of Rainbow Village / Gwen Cherry 23. The reason being is that that building is in bad condition. I'm there doing community service now, and the staircase and the steel has been deteriorating. PHCD has been trying to repair them, but the building is in very poor living condition. I'm also here to support PH4. PH4 is a part of the various homeless shelters. I work with the Camilla's House on construction training for the homeless. We have been very successful with that program. We have been able to get them jobs. We have been able to also get them on-the-job training while they're in class receiving a stipend. So I'm looking for the commissioners to please give PH4 and PD1 your support. Thank you.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Arturo Vidal, and I'm the Vice President of Finance for Oak Capital. We're a local developer here in Miami, and I'm here to support in favor of PZ1. We currently, for the last 5 years, have owned around 2 acres of land, undeveloped land, in Little Haiti in the Northwest 2nd Avenue corridor. And we've been wanting to develop affordable and also attainable mixed income housing. But because our land parcels are abutting T3, we have not been able to develop mixed affordable housing. And I'm sure a lot of developers are also sitting in undeveloped land that is currently unproductive and would be better served as affordable housing. So I'm here to advocate in favor of PZ1. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. My name is Kendra Smith, and I'm here to let you guys know I really support PZ1, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Hello, I'm Meg Daly, founder of Friends of the Underline. I live at 1004 Cotoro and work in Brickell. And I'm here just to say I'm looking forward to make a presentation to you this afternoon regarding the Underline Phase 2 construction updates, as well as the tree replacements for the tree removal, as well as the landscaping plan. I'll be joined by my colleague at the county, Irene Hegedus. But I also want to thank the many people who came out this morning, did not go to work, to show their enthusiasm for this project and to encourage this commission to make sure that the Underline project continues with your support. Thank you, and I'll see you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Weinberger, founder of the October 22nd Alliance to End Homelessness. The first time I appeared before you 3 months ago, I spoke in opposition to a ban on homeless encampments, which criminalizes people who desperately need housing. I'm here this morning to raise concerns about people who may barely be hanging on to housing, who soon may be living on sidewalks and under bridges, as too many already do. That's because last month you passed Resolution RE4, directing the city manager to move forward with the purchase of a property and 2 buildings at 1510 Southwest 7th Street in Commissioner Carollo's district. The resolution, which the commissioner introduced, unfortunately passed without debate. I say unfortunately because there's much reason to be concerned about this very fishy-looking deal, and you need to be open and accountable regarding a number of questions about this pending purchase. Why are you intending to buy this building at all, which is currently the home of 9 different tenants? Do you already have a deal in place to flip the building to a developer? 2, why do you plan on demolishing this building, as can be inferred from the language in the resolution, which includes demolition in the cost? 3, why did you propose spending $1,060,000 for this property, 40% above the county property appraiser's estimated market value and $200,000 above the estimated value arrived at by the two appraisers the city was statutorily compelled to hire? You have a lot of explaining to do before this deal should move forward, and if you can't provide satisfactory answers, then the deal shouldn't proceed. Joe Carollo has recently expressed concern about struggling residents in Little Havana in these meetings. Is evicting low-income tenants from a building in Little Havana by means of some backroom deal an expression of such concern? I and a lot of other people don't think so. Please respond to my questions or terminate the deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chairwoman and Commissioners. My name is Beverly Thieber, and I'm an advocate for PZ1. The community needs that. I did my services around there to help them out, and the place is very unlivable. There's a lot of tenants been crying and complaining about how it is, and I'm here to support and for you guys to do the best you can to help them out. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me. My name is Elder Paniagua. I reside 811 Northwest 43rd Avenue. I'm speaking on behalf of Bayside. I'm the head of security for Bayside. I'm not against the scooters. I believe it's effective for its purpose. However, it's not effective, and the organization of the operation is just so unorganized. Very unsafe for pedestrians walking along the sidewalks, clutter of scooters everywhere, thrown on the floor, et cetera, et cetera. Just on Christmas alone, like Pamela Weller from Bayside was saying, we had over 40 police officers responding to chaos in the mall because all these scooter riders were just causing chaos in the mall. I think if we could, the operators can limit the scooter speeds, better lock them, put them in place, have better mechanism to put these scooters in place, better geofencing in areas like Bayside Marketplace where we have children and customers. I mean, we've experienced so many incidents at Bayside just because of these scooters. And better policing of these violators that are constantly, just doing whatever they want with these scooters. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Albert Miller, and I am a employee of Community Awareness Construction Services. I also am a graduate of the FIU construction program. I'm here to speak to Article PH4 as well as support it. I ask and I state that the program has been an immeasurable difference in my life. It's made a big impact. And I ask that the commissioners continue to support it. Thank you.
Good morning, Frankie Ruiz, 3575 West Glencoe Street. Just want to quickly express my support for the underline, and I'd encourage the funds to be released so that that project can continue to move as fast as it's moving. I trust Meg, and I've paid attention to the plans, and certainly from a green space or a landscaping perspective, it's certainly much better than anything we've ever had in that area. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Kevin Amezaga. I'm representing the Miami Riders Alliance, a nonprofit advocating for safer streets and better public transportation here in Miami-Dade County. I'm here to speak in support of the Underline from 2103 Coral Way, Florida 2, Miami, Florida 33145. Our organization has worked with the Underline extensively. We really support the mission of the Underline. This is a project that has an impact of hundreds of thousands of Miami-Dade County residents, 5 miles of which is located within the gorgeous city of Miami, of which we're a proud small business in. Our organization supports the Underline because it also supports multimodal infrastructure in Miami-Dade County, which is so sorely needed. We cannot keep building for cars in the city of Miami because we don't have the space for it. We need more development that encourages the use of bicycles, scooters, and even walking for those who don't have cars and those who don't want to use cars. I'm a driver myself, and I can tell you if I don't have to use my car, I really don't want to. And that gets drivers off the roads. Now, I would also like to speak in support of scooters, but I also would like to encourage the commissioners to set a precedent in this city and also to dedicate infrastructure funding to the infrastructure that this scooter program needs to exist successfully. We need dedicated funding for more bike lanes in downtown Miami, Brickell, and other neighborhoods in which the scooters operate. And we also need dedicated corral parking. And I'll tell you, I actually went to St. Petersburg, Florida, and they're actually doing a much better job at scooter parking than we are, and that's frankly sad. We need better scooter parking, and we need buy-in from all of the city's instrumentalities, including the MPA, the Miami Police Department, and everybody needs to come together and clarify who does what, and also how we're gonna get this done. And that's really important, and it's necessary for the city, and we need this program to survive. Thank you.
Good morning. James Torres, President of DNA. I have some videos that I want to show as it relates to SR2 11136, FR5 11135 as it relates to the scooter program. We're once again asking, I'm waiting for there we go. Okay, give me a second. So we were all gathered here back in November 29th, as Pam Weller stated, and her chief of security as well, on the scooter program. It did pass in terms of its writing, but if you look on the screen, you're going to see the issues that keep occurring. This is on a regular basis. This happened after the 29th of November. And a lot of these complaints are falling on deaf ears. The quality of life is being impacted. The scooter companies are literally doing whatever they want to do, not what the directive has been from the city commission. I want to be very clear on that. The directive that you folks gave is not being adhered to or followed. A lot of pressure is being placed on the Miami PD. Miami PD is not the police of these items. Kevin Ledesma made a comment about it. Why isn't that being done? You keep looking at the photos of what's being left around, double riders, no helmets, people doing whatever they want. And it's a constant issue that it seems like commission is not paying attention to what's happening. As we move on, you're gonna see some videos that will come up. This one's my favorite, underage driver with the dad. I don't understand how that was approved. So what are we gonna do about it? That's the biggest question. And it keeps falling on deaf ears, and the videos are not loading, but I do really want to show you those. If you, go ahead. They're only 10-second clips.
The 2 minutes is up, and I've been very strict about that, so I don't want it to seem
Can I
as
show
if
you at
I'm-
least one of them?
I don't want to seem as if I'm giving favoritism to anyone and others are waiting, so
Okay.
thank you.
See, I would have been done with the video because it was only 4 seconds.
Okay.
But I'm going to leave them here so you guys can figure that
Right,
out.
you left them with
But
us.
again, we're asking for the program to be stopped.
We got
please.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Hilda Fernandez, Camilla's House, 1603 Northwest 7th Avenue, speaking on agenda item PH4, sponsored by Mayor Suarez and Commissioner Reyes. We want to echo Constance Collins in thanking the City Commission for embracing funding to support proven strategies that assist in moving homeless persons into housing stability. The allocation of APRA funding as proposed is going to build on effective approaches that have provided training so that homeless individuals have been able to secure jobs as chefs in restaurants like Cheesecake Factory in Novecento, and today are helping build housing and commercial buildings that are changing our city's skyline through the employment training programs that we do for construction trades. It funds alternative options to help the street homeless access housing, especially when they are shelter resistant, with mobile teams that will help them complete the paperwork and qualify to move them from the street directly into housing when that is the best way to do it. And it funds important services to help clients that do move into housing retain that housing by providing on-site mental health services. It's been almost 62 years since we served a bowl of cereal to our first client, a Cuban exile who was homeless. Today, and last year, we provided more than 104,000 bed nights in emergency housing. Along the way, we served more than 609 women, 552 children, 2,030 family households, provided homeless prevention assistance to 130 families, served 221 veterans, 42 homeless youth, so forth and so on. There are a lot of services available. We thank you very much for making sure that the ones that are making the difference continue to be funded.
Thank you.
Let me say good morning and Happy New Year to all of you. I want to congratulate the new chairperson. So happy to have you here. I'm Thelma Anderson Gibson at 3661 Franklin Avenue, Coconut Grove. I am a native, and I'm here to speak for behalf of PC1. And I'm asking the commissioners, my commissioner who sponsors it along with our mayor, to actually approve this item today, primarily because affordable housing and workforce housing is so needed in our area. I live in a little section that we used to call Colored Town, and now it is so, the colored people are not there anymore. Very few of us are still around. And so I believe that one of the ways of keeping us here is to have more affordable and workforce housing. And PC1 speaks to that. I represent Christ Episcopal Church, which is 121 years old. And Guts, Grovites United to Survive, is a group that purchased some land on Grand Avenue and has now been turned over, released to Urban Core, which comes under Urban League. And we're so proud of what we have been able to accomplish in these few years. When we were told the churches own more than 40% of the vacant lots in Coconut Grove, our church, the priest who's here, Father Archer, and his group, the vestry, I was not in that. I'm not I'm a member, and I stay out of everything unless I'm asked to do something. So I usually have to have people know that I speak on behalf of the church, primarily because I love it. Was baptized here on March the 20th of 1927. And so this year I will have been a member for 95 years. So I just have to have everybody know how happy it is.
God bless you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your support.
So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
On behalf of PC1, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gibson.
My name is Barbara Lang. My address is 3901 Berganza Avenue, Coconut Grove. I'm here on the tree ordinance, SL1. I understand it's not here to pass today, but my review, and I just saw it the other night, is that this is a lessening and a weakening of the tree ordinance. And I live in Coconut Grove. The commissioner that represents me lives in Coconut Grove, and I'm wondering, some people in Coconut Grove love their trees, why we are weakening the tree ordinance at this time, and how on earth did this get weakened? Who promoted it? I think also you need to have community meetings to explain to us why this is being done. Everybody I've talked to about it is shocked that this is happening. And the only reason we found out about it is because it was in the Grove Spotlight. So could we have some answers? Not now?
Madam Chairwoman, thank you. Now is not the time for a back and forth on an item for the future legislation, but we did pass an ordinance several years ago that does not allow a non-sponsored item just to come to commission. So it's given a 60-day delay.
Okay.
And so this is doing exactly what it's meant to do. You've now seen it before it comes to us. It's got 2 months for public involvement, even before it comes to the commission. But at this point, this item doesn't even have a sponsor. So this is just the administration.
So, thank you.
Right, it's just intended to give the public notice of what's to come.
Okay.
what we're considering.
I'm glad in my office to work with the community to better understand how this is going to affect us if it passes at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And I wanted to say, Commissioner King, it's lovely seeing you up there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, we're going to close the public comment. We have an 11:30 time certain item, but I need an additional commissioner to join us. So hold on one second to see if I can have that. If we do not have another commissioner join us, we will be in recess.
Okay, ¿cuál es PH4? Let's do PH.
Watching you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to be noted as a co-sponsor for PH4.
So noted. I am also a co-sponsor for PH4.
Que todos son-
I guess the staff got the notice late. I didn't think so, but of course I would be a sponsor for PH4.
Thank you. And I'll move the item.
I'd second it.
Do we have any
Are
discussion?
we going to take, Madam Chair, if I may?
I have a
Madam
question
Chair.
of the city attorney.
Wait, hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Reyes was
Yes.
speaking.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Madam Chair, and are we going to move the PH all together, or we're going to do it one by one?
We're going to do PH4 right
Okay.
now.
Okay, it was moved by Commissioner Russell, I'll second it.
Any discussion?
I have a question.
Commissioner?
Of our city attorney.
Okay.
It requires a 4/5 vote. The required 4 commissioners to be present here.
We have all the 4 that we need, so we.
So 3 constitute a quorum, and then the commissioner coming in
fourth-
virtually.
Yes,
Okay, so we're okay with that. Physically, they don't have to be here.
correct. You need the
Okay.
3 for quorum, and then
I
the
understand
4th
that. I
can
just
count.
wanted to make sure, okay, I just wanted to make sure legally we were okay. Okay.
Yeah, good question.
Yes, just want to make
Commissioner
sure that
Russell?
we're protected.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I would like to thank all the public who came to advocate for this issue, and especially the mayor and Commissioner Reyes for bringing the item. I'm proud to co-sponsor this and very thankful that we are addressing the services needed for the homeless. I'd like to challenge this commission and the mayor to bring more items that have specifically to do with units of housing, permanent supportive housing, that will actually allow the system to flow smoothly. This addresses a very acute need, this item does, but we still, if we really want to get to functional zero, we must provide the units of housing that allow the system to flow people off the street into shelter and people out of shelter into housing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam-
Commissioner Russell.
Commissioner Russell, can you be more specific how we do that with this item?
Yes,
Yeah, so
Madam
it
Chair.
wouldn't be Madam Chairwoman, through you, it would not be an amendment to this item. I'm fully in support of this item as is, but I would like us to marshal our resources, whether it's land, zoning, subsidy, to find 500 units of permanent supportive housing. My understanding in talking with the various shelters, that is the magic number that would open up the pipeline so that people can graduate from shelter, get that first key, pay rent, and still get the wraparound services from the shelter system. Right now, we have a bottleneck at the shelter level, which is keeping people from getting out of the street into the shelters. And so I'd like to bring a separate item at another time, directing management to help us solve this situation in conjunction with the housing and with the homeless shelter community.
Commissioner
Madam
Reyes?
Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Reyes, you're recognized.
Yes, I do agree, Commissioner Russell, that we need more housing, affordable housing. But also I want you to remind you that we have to protect the neighborhoods and the single-family homes, because if we keep on encroaching them, they are going to suffer the consequences of us not taking action that it is that protects them. So I don't want just to go ahead and have a carte blanche for developing of affordable housing and right on next to T3s and single-family homes. I think that we have to be very careful with the consequences that taking those actions have in our neighborhoods that which have to be protected.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. The item passes.
Chair?
Yes?
I just wanted to make sure that I reminded everyone that all these monies that we are allocating with respect to the ARPA funds in this resolution and the resolution that came before you last commission meeting are subject to the ARPA consultant that's coming in. And at that time, make sure that all the commissioners double check with the administration, that everybody knows what amounts of money they are receiving per district, because there have been, I think, revisions to, on the floor with language with regard to how much money is, and now that we have someone coming on board to, discuss all that, I just want to make sure that everybody knows what they have.
Yes, thank you. I believe, at least I know for myself, I have a request in to meet with our ARPA consultant to go over just that.
Thank you.
Right, if I may, Madam Chair?
Commissioner?
Thank you. Because as you know, people are keep on getting a piece of the pie, right? And then the money's running out. So how do we coordinate all that so that if the total is the same that's being appropriated at every step of the way? Every commission meeting has been that way. 5 million here, remember, 4 million there, 2 million there, and then at the end of the day, we run out of money.
Yes.
So we have to kind of have a more coordinated effort, I think.
Exactly, and that's what I'm just asking, because I know that all these items keep on coming, so now I think the ARPA consultant is going to be on board shortly, and maybe...
Well, that's an important question, Madam Chair, through you.
Yes.
That's an important question. When is that ARPA consultant going to be here? Because pretty soon the money's going to run out, right? And all of a sudden, there you are. Welcome. You know, you're talking about a lot of money, right? So,
Good afternoon.
Madam Chair.
Good afternoon, yes.
I am fully aware of the millions of dollars that are being thrown all over the place. So at the end of the day, have you come up with, if I may, Madam Chair?
Hold on one second. Commissioner Reyes would like to say something.
Yes. I'm sorry, but I think that the way that I interpret the city attorney is that although that we have been dividing the pie, you see, everybody is getting a share of the pie, that the legality of using those funds is going to be determined by the person that it has to be approved if it meets the requirement for where this ARPA money can be
Correct.
can be used. And I think that we already made decisions to see how we was going to be divided. But what we have to know is, we have to be informed is those projects that we have in the pipeline that we want to use those funds for, they are approved by ARPA, by the federal government. That's what I think that she's trying to tell us.
Correct. Commissioner
Thank you.
Diaz de la Portilla?
Thank you. I remain hungry because I haven't gotten my piece of the pie yet for my district. So we have to be careful. It's very important, I think, that we're very, very specific and very precise in our language and how all these dollars are allocated. As we voted on a number of issues along the way.
Right. I think what you're trying to say is that it should be equitable.
Yes.
That all of our districts receive ARPA funds,
Yes, ma'am.
and
I
no
agree.
one district has more than the other unless we have established guidelines,
Well,
for example, the CDBG guidelines and...
right,
Yes.
or API. And to
Right.
that point, for example, Commissioner Russell's district should receive a lot less because you're a richer district, right? And the more needy districts should receive more, right?
Exactly.
We understand, so
Exactly.
in your calculations, you're taking that into account, right? Either when you do CDBG funding formula, or whether you do API formula, whatever formula you're using, it's gotta be equitable in terms of the poverty level of particular districts, right? For example, Coconut Grove is not gonna get the same amount of money that a Alapata or Liberty City or Flagami is gonna get, right?
So,
Are you taking that into account?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, Annie Perez, Director of Procurement. So I can speak as to the procurement.
Yes.
I just wanted to let you know that we do have a consultant on board. We are setting up a kickoff meeting for next week. So there, I just wanted to let you all know that we do have a
So,
consultant.
Madam Chair, if I may, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Annie. What's your timeline for that? Because having a consultant on board and getting the dollars into the neighborhoods, what's the timeline?
Commissioner, I do not know that answer. That would be a budget. The budget office, our budget director is
Is she here?
leading she is.
Okay. So what's the timeline? If I may, Madam Chair, through you? There you are. I thought it was a she, but okay.
No, I'm not the budget director, sir.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not, but you're sitting in for someone, so what's the story?
So the allocation per district and all of that, I believe in November, this commission took an action. I believe it was a resolution which had a plan for this ARPA money, and it included a variety of different allocations per district for community projects and community items.
Right, so what ended up happening there, I mean, Madam Chair, what ended up happening there was that every district got more or less the same amount of money, right? It was 14 point something million dollars, something in that range.
Something like that, yes, sir.
Well, you don't remember?
I don't have it in front of me, but it was about around that. Some got 13, some got a little bit more. Yeah.
Right, so
They're
every
all pretty
district
close.
was treated the same way. So there was no formula used for the poverty level of every specific district. And that was okay, that was to keep the peace, and I get all that. So we kept the peace. But as we move forward now, we have a consultant that's gonna recommend where the money really needs to go in our city. And the majority of the commission can actually either reallocate those dollars, right? Or are those already undergoing the process of being approved by Washington and all the paperwork you guys need to do to make sure that we get those ARP dollars?
Among a few other things that the consultant is being asked to do, they're being asked to ensure that whatever projects are being funded by the American Rescue Plan monies meet the criteria that the Treasury Department has put on the use of these funds. So for instance, if you were putting money aside for a homeless assistance program, this consultant would verify to make sure that that particular program meets the requirements.
If I may, Madam Chair.
Hold on, let him finish, let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay, I'll let him finish.
Okay.
I'm just following up.
Okay,
Will you give me a chance?
okay.
If there are some that use of funds is intended for a particular project that does not meet those qualifications, then we would come back to whatever district commissioner wanted to do that to figure out either an alternate use for those funds or another way to maybe work with that program to ensure that it does meet the criteria.
You have a follow-up?
Thank you. Yes, I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. You're very courteous, by the way.
I'm trying to.
Yes, you're very nice. Our previous chairman was a little bit rougher with me, so I appreciate it. That'd be you. But anyway, so when do we know? What's the timeline? What's a realistic timeline? Because these are organizations and nonprofits that are waiting. In my case, for example, I'm sure we all have them. We have the important organizations that do good nonprofit work for our community and for our citizens and residents. What's the timeline for that? The approval process? When do they get their money?
So the resolution that took place in November gave us a guideline. Each individual project that is going to be funded will have to come back to commission to get the actual allocation. If there are projects that you're interested in moving forward very quickly, once we have the consultant on board, which should be in about a week. About a week? Yeah, so in about a week, we should have the consultant fully on board. We'll start scheduling meetings with each of your offices to kind of get those projects that you would like to get to the front of the line.
Thank you. One last follow-up.
One last follow-up. Oh, my God. They used to limit my ability to ask questions in Tallahassee, but now you're doing it. I love it. Anyway, okay, so we do this. When is that consultant on board? And what's the delay in that?
I'm going to have the budget director come up here because she's got the details.
Okay.
So,
You're gonna recognize Commissioner Russell now?
I have to after she speaks.
Okay,
Good
ma'am.
morning or afternoon, I'm not sure what time it is right now. Madam Chair,
Good
Commissioners.
morning.
I'm hungry too.
We're trying to set up all the meetings with the commissioners. The goal is to do it not next week, but the following week.
Okay.
Because I have a kickoff meeting on the 18th with the consultant. And the next meeting, the hardest thing we've been trying to do and having some difficulties is really the scope of the projects. So your offices will help us with that, based on what you want to do with the dollars, and then that will help the consultant make the right decisions to see if they are eligible, and if they are not, what can we do to make those projects eligible?
Excuse my ignorance, who's a consultant?
Atkins.
What?
Atkins?
Atkins.
Atkins, first name?
Oh, that's the name of the
It's a
the
company,
firm.
you know?
Oh.
Oh.
It's a joke. All right.
Okay.
Commissioner Russell, you wanted to say?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And Commissioner Diesel-Ortiz, I completely understand and respect where you're coming from with regard to equity. For sure, the mayor did a great job in working with each of the commissioners' office to expedite the division of funds and get it rolling, unlike we have still waiting on the Miami Forever bond to be allocated. So it's very good that we're rolling. But I also want to recognize that the American Rescue Plan isn't all about poverty. The division of the entire funds shouldn't simply be done by poverty index, by district. It's also meant for connectivity, for infrastructure, for getting our entire city back on its feet and growing and thriving into the future. And I'd also like it to be recognized that of the District 2 allocation, my very first line item was a citywide expenditure, over $1 million for all of our city employees who were frontline. And that took away from the allocation that was reserved for my district. So I do think we all are intending to work together here to make sure that the entire city is thriving with the American Rescue Plan funds that we've received. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we've passed PH4 unanimously. Does anything need to be read into the record for that?
No, ma'am.
No. So let's take up the remainder of the PH items. Our commissioners, do you want to pull any of these remaining PH items?
No, ma'am, I move all PH items.
Second.
I've got Commissioner Alex Diaz de la Portilla, motion to move all of the remaining PH items, and Commissioner Russell has seconded that. Is there any discussion?
Chair. Madam City Attorney. Chair, just for the record, PH 8 will be amended just to add a new backup, a new exhibit for the legislation. It doesn't change the substantive portion of the legislation.
I move it as amended.
Okay. Second. All right. So we're going to vote on PH1, PH2, PH3, PH5, PH6, PH7, PH8. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. And at this time...
Madam Chair, before you break for lunch, I know we're all hungry. I am too, believe me, I didn't have breakfast. So I want to move all the RE items. RE1, RE2, and RE3.
I second,
Yes.
Madam Chair. I will second it, and I at the state that I want co-sponsored RE3. That was be included as a co-sponsor of
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so
Scope of
co-sponsor RE3, which is the...
I'm also co-sponsoring RE3.
Caridad Hernandez.
Yes, I'm
Caridad
also...
Hernandez.
So we have 3 sponsors for RE3. That would be myself, Commissioner Alex Diaz de la Portilla, and Commissioner Manolo Reyes. And Todd is waving over.
And Commissioner Croyo also requested to be a co-sponsor for RE3.
And Commissioner Carollo also... Well, that leaves you, Commissioner Russell.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes.
I think RE3 has an amendment that was distributed. There's a minor change.
As amended. As amended, yes. So the motion is as amended, yes.
I second it as amended.
Okay, Commissioner Russell, would you
I'm
like?
happy to vote for it.
You're happy to vote?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we are taking up now RE1, 2, and 3. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Can we have lunch now, Madam Chair?
What time is it?
Is it time for lunch? It's 12:09.
It's 12:09? Yes. We will return at 2:09.
Yes, ma'am. That works. A
2:09?
2-hour lunch, I love it. I love it.
2:09. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to you, Madam Chair, you're doing an excellent job.
You too. Feel better.